Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading Virgo. This is going to be your reading for June 2021. It's great to see you guys once again. Let's get started. Alright. The overall energy for June for you, Virgo, we have Nine of Pentacles. So, feeling very much like yourself once again, and not a moment too soon, I would say. I think that there has been a lot of excitement. It's been pretty eventful. Maybe even a little bit anxious. But it's no more anxiety than I feel like you guys are used to. You could argue that feeling like yourself means that you're anxious about something. There's always something. This time it looks like it might be an air sign. A Gemini, perhaps. But in June, it's like you are one with your sense of individuality. I feel like you are in that energy where despite how you feel, you have an optimistic outlook. And despite how you, Virgo, feel, you feel like yourself and you have an optimistic outlook. That is saying a lot for you guys because you feel a lot this month. And it's like, yeah. You're starting to feel maybe like you are spread a bit too thin, like there is a lot that requires your attention. There's a lot is being asked from you. And despite how you feel, you're handling it. I think that there is but are you really handling it, or are you just pretending like there isn't a problem? Are you just pretending like there isn't a problem, like you aren't overwhelmed? Like I said, you're feeling like yourself this month. And for you, that means taking on way more than you should. Putting on a brave face just to keep the peace, just to keep things going. And I think there's this like looming question of how's it gonna end this time around? Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. I think that in terms of you feel like you could be a bit more stable. Money and work most definitely might be on your mind. And I feel like when work is on your mind, it can go one of two ways. Either you are thriving and you are just crushing it, or it's crushing you and you are trying to control everything, and your pride is running amok, and there's an unwillingness to admit that it's too much, because you feel like you can handle it, because you feel like you can do it all. And it's like to ask for help is a sign of weakness. Nevertheless, you are optimistic. We are going to talk about these one more time. Just a moment. All right, guys, we're back. Here are your cards again for June, so let's talk about these one more time. So there's a lot of independence for you this month, Virgo, and it's by choice. I feel like there is something that you are determined to stand alone on. There's something that you want to brave alone, something that you feel like you need to do alone, and it's like reaching out and asking for help, asking for assistance. It's like it's just one of the hardest things for you to do, because that feeling that you know what's best and that you'll be okay is outweighing any sense of fear that you may have that you are going to buckle under the pressure, or that things are going to come crashing down. Now, is that optimism well placed? It appears that it is. I don't think that there's anything wrong with believing in your ability. You'll get no argument or pushback from me, and I think it's a place of empowerment for you. I think that you have come up against many obstacles in your life, and it's in many ways forged this strong spirit of yours that you have. I like that the Nine of Pentacles is the overall energy for you for June, because there is abundance around you. You are quite comfortable where you are, even though you may be in your mind a little bit. And I get the sense that it can be kind of hard for you to enjoy yourself at times, because so much of your day is spent worrying about keeping everything going, about staying afloat. I feel like there are some responsibilities that you have that you are delivering on. You're making good on your commitments to finish those tasks. But at the same time, there's just kind of like this autopilot energy. Now, let's talk about the air sign for a second. Like I said, you could be dealing with a Gemini. or another Virgo, you guys are kindred spirits, like-minded individuals, and I think that there is some distance. But this distance is not, I feel like you're not worried about this. It's like you guys have grown in the way that you guys have evolved away from codependent relationships. It's like you can give someone a wide berth and you don't necessarily need their presence. You don't need to be checked up on to feel like you're okay. It's like your source of validation. It doesn't lie in another person. It's like you are okay. If this is a love interest, then this is a healthy amount of emotional detachment from it, and I think that that's good for you, because there are, like I said, some responsibilities that you have that it's essential that you get to the bottom of them now. When it comes to money, I think that there are some nice things happening there. It's like a lifesaver of sorts, but it's right on time. And if that's what you have been worried about, I think that your ability to be resourceful and make the most of what you have at your disposal, it has enabled you to think up some creative solutions to any problems that you may have had in that particular area. There is a kind of inventory that you're doing in the way that you are having to make some choices about what you want your life to look like and perhaps what your values are. I think that, Virgos are most definitely typically sustainable, and there is a altruistic nature to your energy. But I think that there is some tweaking that you're doing in that area when it comes to being more consistent, when it comes to your beliefs and your actions. This whole reading is centered around faith, belief in oneself, and belief in the work that they have and are doing. I think that you are a bit unsociable, and if it's not that you are keeping to yourself, and if it's not that you're unsociable, I think that you're just not expressing the gravity of the situation to some people. Like, there are some things that are on your mind that you would much rather just mull over and get to the bottom of by yourself. Like I said, because you may be feeling like you know what's best. And that's okay. That's okay, because you are a survivor, and I can completely understand you wanting to trust your judgment and you wanting to be self-reliant. You not wanting to appear weak. I think that did I just hit the nail on the head? Is that what this is all rooted around? Your energy for June, it's just not wanting to, perhaps that's what the emotional attachment that you have gotten comfortable with when it comes to this relationship. It's like you're wanting to put on a brave face. You don't want to feel You don't want to be viewed as someone who is overly dependent or clingy. And if it's a work situation, you want to prove that you're able to handle the workload and that you are the same productive and efficient Virgo that we know you to be. Now, is this wise? Is there a problem with that? I don't think so. I think that you're coming off as very self-aware in the cards here and very capable. But I think that the internal dialogue is something that we should perhaps examine. How well you know your limits will determine how successful you are this month and how long you'll be able to keep juggling, how long you'll be able to keep things afloat. There are some seeds that you guys have that you are keeping close to the chest, or at least you have been, and I encourage you to keep it that way for now. Any prospects that you have, just anything that's cooking, anything that's in the works, just let it work and let things unfold naturally and give yourself a chance to complete those tasks and see them through all the way to the end before you speak about them. We touched on this last month, but I just think that you want to be sure, because you're in this like search and destroy kind of energy, or seek and understand kind of energy. And the opinions of others would prove to be a distraction, because I feel like it's a delicate process that you're going through right now, and I think that it's a personal one. It's one that is close to home, that I get the feeling that you perhaps would be stressing yourself out more if, in addition to your workload, you were also balancing the opinions of others. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that it's important that you know your limits, so if you feel like it's time to ask for help, it's important that you are okay with that and you understand that there isn't any shame in that. In fact, it might prove to be that the solution that you're looking for is closer to home than you were expecting. But it's almost like you want to ride this wagon till the wheels fall off, and like I said, just see it through to the bitter end before you'll reach out. And to that I would say, just maintain a bird's eye view of the different situations that you're in, and continue to practice good judgment and discernment like you have been, because I feel like it has been working for you. There's clarity of thought here and presence of the mind. There's depth of understanding when it comes to what's best for you and what's rational and what's realistic. If you find yourself in a situation that requires you to set aside your pride, like I said, just know that that's okay too, and you won't be seen as a weak person for it. Because you and I know that, and the people that you're dealing with know just how strong you are and just how much you can handle, and they know exactly what you can do and what you're capable of. And I don't see much malicious intent here. In fact, I see the opposite. I see a lot of recognition. And I see signs of a job well done. So pick your head up, get some fresh air, and keep moving forward. Tap into those strengths that you know that you have, and do some internal work when it comes to understanding your weaknesses. Accept them for what they are, but don't criticize yourself. And one of the worst things that you can do is allow the fear of criticism from others to keep you from doing what you know is right and is what the situation requires. If you are a member on Patreon, then you will have already had access to this reading. It was released 5 days ago. If you would like to join, all you have to do is join the Virgo tier and you will get early access to the monthly reads as well as the extended. If you'd like a personal reading, my email will be in the description box below. If I don't see you on Patreon, I will see you guys in July. Thanks for being here. Bye.